All right, thank you so much for joining us. And of course, it's about time for us to go into our market trends. Here. And of course, we'll be looking at locally made shoes. It's of course in the news that those in that particular sector are finding it a bit easy, especially looking at the production costs. Now, my question is, how are they finding it easy compared to those who are manufacturing, their products, and of course, importing raw materials from overseas, especially looking at it, from the angle of the FX market. But then again, if we have to look into this issue, we'll find out that perhaps they might be getting or sourcing their product locally, which has to do with, getting this product from one of these states that manufactures locally. And we know for a fact in Nigeria, Abia State, it's one of those market hub where you can get local products. I'm talking about leather works. Of course, if you look deeper into there, you find out that there are some persons who are manufacturing in a place called Area Market, a very busy, marketplace for such kind of productions. And then one will start thinking maybe that's why those in that particular space are finding it easy. But then again, when you look at the production aspect, the cost might be lesser. Fine, because you source your materials locally. How about transporting this product when it's finished to the market where you're going to sell it? Perhaps Lagos, for instance. What is the cost of production? What is the cost of transportation? How do you juxtapose this? Are you going to now say, okay, fine, if you don't pay much producing it, how do you cater for the production of transporting these things down to the cities where you're going to market them? How do you view the removal of fuel subsidy when it comes to the implication it will have on transporting of your goods or services down to Lagos, for instance, where you have the market? How do you cushion the effect? Who bears the brunt? Is it the customers, or is it a shared formula thing where you have to, retain patronage so as not to scare your customers? I really want to know how they get to do this magic, because if you're looking at production costs, is on the one hand. How about transportation? How about utility payment, especially where you operate in Lagos? Don't you pay for electricity bills? Don't you pay for Loma bills? Don't you also pay taxes running your business? How do you cope with all of these costs? And at the end of the day, you still have much of the market share when it comes to patronage. I really want to know how you get to do all of these things so that people who really want to go into this business can also find a way, perhaps a soft landing, to be able to do businesses in Nigeria. Because come to look at it, it's not funny for those in the manufacturing sector, especially looking at it from the production costs, transporting, and of course payment of other utilities. Well, that's the much we'll be sharing with you on the market trend this morning. And of course the program is okay. I heard there's a report as regards the market trend. Let's get to feel what those in that particular space are saying as regards the production of such commodity called the shoe. Let's get to feel them. Please take a listen.
One may wonder if the economic downtime in the country will ripple the shoe business outrightly, but that's not the case for most shoe business owners, because the shoe business seems to be thriving. Despite challenges, the industry continues to grow and prosper, according to wholesalers at the Trade Fair International Markets, Lagos. There is an increased demand for footwear driven by fashion trends and changing consumer preferences. Additionally, most wholesalers are adopting innovative marketing strategies such as influencer collaborations and social media campaigns to reach a wider audience. The shoe business faces challenges due to IFX and hike in duty charge rate, but this rate increases costs and limits access to importation, impacting the profitability of wholesalers and retailers.
So it's never been easy actually, because you get to understand that some products you do get at affordable cost, at affordable prices. By the time you end up importing some items, you understand, from the very beginning you have done your cost calculations, how much you import the goods into Nigeria and the clearing fees. But then the way dollar is surging every day, you get to find out you may actually budget to import a goods with 15 million. By the time it gets down to Nigeria here, the clearing fee will probably be ×2 of what you've been expecting. So it's actually not easy for us anyway. Most of the time, let's say you are a beginner and then for the very first time you are importing, you have, let's say, 15 million. That is the maximum capital I can afford to, and maybe you have factored your expenditures. By the time it gets to the wharf and you want to clear it out, probably maybe the cost of taking out your goods will be even more than you expect. You have to borrow from people. Most of the time you borrow from banks if you have such privilege. So that's the way we are narrowing it out anyway. We are here already, and it's just about figuring out a way. It's just not happening in footwear, it's everywhere around. So whatever you want to buy, maybe probably around January you'll be able to purchase it around 15k. And then you come back here in March, it's around 20k. You have to, tarry along with it. It's just happening, There's nothing else we can do about that. Well, I believe there is so much that can be done if critically looking into the matter, like empowering most of the importers, making dollar available, because one of the major challenge I can tell you for now, you have a dollar account as a businessman, but you can't access dollar from your bank, which means you have to go and source dollar from the local sources, which is extremely expensive. You understand? So, with that being said, there are so much that has to be implemented for all of this to come down.
The price control, we have different type of price. The price of the carton is different. The price of paste is different. We can say the carton maybe 12,000, but the paste is 14,000. So that is how it is here. No, we will say different designs. As in now, if you come to my own shop, I have many designs. If you got another person, the design the person have there, it may not be the design I have. The design I have there, it may not be the design the person have. So different design and the different prices. I say wholesale, I say cartons, I say paste. When they come here, I normally romance them and pay to them, and I romance them and I pay to them like my baby, because any customer that bought something from you, they say that customer is always right. When my customer come be shouting for me, I will beg her or I will beg him, because I know that it's that money I need. Okay, so when they come here, I normally pay to them. Even when they buy, I will sit them down and buy drink for them. If they ask for food, I buy for them. That is to maintain customer. Government, they are their own side. They are doing their own thing. What I believe is that the one God give to me, the life where God give me, and the customer where God give to me. I think every early morning when I'm coming out, I will beg God to give me my own customer. Not I didn't hope for government. I believe that only God can give me what I want. So that is my own understanding.
We sell our ears from the rate of 40,000 naira, 12,000 naira before, even 10,000 naira. But now, because of the dollar rate, we used to sell 18, sometimes we sell 16, 20. Man, it's crazy. When I mean crazy, it's crazy because at times when they come, most of them, they know the price. They know they normally buy 12, 14, 13. But now, if you tell them 18,000 naira, you tell them 16,000, they don't even wait. They'll start running. But it's only the strong that the one that need it, they will buy it. It's high. It's still good. People are buying. People are buying because people must sell. So they are buying. It's high. Wholesale and retail, yes. We are begging them, they should please, they should bring it down, because the masses, we are suffering it. They should bring it down. They should just do something about it. It's frustrating.
Addressing the FX and hike in duty charge rate issues, these business owners are calling on the government to consider implementing policies to stabilize the currency, which would help reduce the impact of currency fluctuations. Additionally, reducing duty charges on imported goods can lower purchasing costs, thereby making it more affordable. Providing incentives and support for local shoe manufacturers can also encourage domestic production and boost the industry. Government intervention is vital to address the FX and duty charge rate issues, which can have a significant impact on the industry's growth and competitiveness.
All right, thank you so much for joining us. And that was Market Trend, giving us an overview of how people react, especially those who are in that particular space, in the production of shoes. You've heard it. And of course, they are saying that a lot of persons are buying this product because there's been so much demand for local content, especially with regards to shoes. But then again, I decided to look deeper into it from a business point of view. Maybe because of the fact that we have high inflation, and of course, people can no longer buy the foreign product. Hence, we have more demand for local content. Perhaps that could be a reason why they're cashing out. Another thing is that looking at it from the angle of sourcing these materials locally, the production cost, is very low. And why do I say this? Electricity right now has been beefed up, especially in a place called Ariaria Market in Aba, in Abia State, where we have, thanks to the governor, Alex Oti, who has been able to make sure that electric supply has been completely eradicated, especially when it comes to the epileptic nature. So right about now, persons in that area will now do businesses at a very low cost when it comes to the production of energy. Now, if you talk about production of these products in a very local place like Ariaria Market, the production cost is reduced. Yes, we know. Then, how do you balance the issue of transporting these things down to the city? Do you take off that cost? Who bears the brunt? I ask again. Because you don't in any way throw away any cost implication when it comes to either the production of goods and services. Everything is factored in. Now, my question is, how do you do your pricing if you say you are really making it big in that particular sector? Because if you look at it critically, you need to factor your production cost. You need to factor in your transportation cost. The packaging of that item, which also adds value to it, needs to be factored in. How do you do all of these things? Well, maybe they might do some little maths, which is what I'm going to look at here. Talking about these commodities, do you say that because people have resorted to local consumption of your product, you now want to say, remove the cost of the production, which is, of course, has been eradicated. Now talk about large quantity of items that you supply, perhaps on wholesale, which, of course, some people call clearance, or some people call, what's it called? That was the word again. I'm trying to remember that word. Turnovers, yes. People usually use that kind of techniques to be able to cut the cost of transporting their goods down to the city. So for instance, I might be producing 100 pairs of shoes, and then I decide that let me push this thing all in one to a particular person who will be buying it, so I don't have to do a B2C. When I mean B2C, I mean business to customer. It slows down my cost of production because I have to now be waiting until I sell off maybe 100 shoes. But imagine when I bring it to the city and I push it all in one to a particular person who is buying at wholesale. That's clearance for me, so I make my money. So maybe that's the way they are making their money from the sale of shoes, because come to look at it, whether or not you like it, the removal of fuel subsidy is going to bring so much impact on production costs. There's no way you run away from it. So if you really want to make people believe that you're making so much money from it, then you must be selling at wholesale, which is what we call turnover, so as to be able to make your money all in a go. Because if you have to depend on B2C, which is business to customer, it might take you a while. So that's about that on the business trend, the market trend.